to February's Finance and Corporate, and we'll get on with it. So I have apology from Councillor Barnes and for Mayor Milchrist for lateness. No other apologies?
I'll move that, Andrew.
You move. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Blue. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. It's carried. Disclosure of members' interests.
I have one, obviously, Mighty River Domain.
Yeah, that's all good. You're on the other side of the table for once, so we'll look forward to that. Cheers. Late items. Okay, there being none, we move on to confirmation of order of the meeting. No changes, Ken? Just
not that I'm aware of, Andrew.
Great. So could I have a mover, please?
I'll move, Andrew.
Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, Claire. All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary, no. Carried. Confirmation of the minutes, which are on pages 8, 9, 10, 11, and sort of almost onto 12. Great. So there being no changes, could I have a mover? Claire and Elwyn, thank you. All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary, no. That's carried. And we'll move on to the Mighty River Domain 2021 annual report. Liz, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. So I'm just going to swap seats and just have Phoebe Clark, who's my operations manager here at Mighty River Domain as well. So we're going to sort of just do this report together. So I'll take the report as read and I guess just talk about some of the highlights in there. Obviously, we have had very little opportunity to run any events here at the Domain, given the COVID situation. But what I can say is that it has been very, very popular over the summertime. So what we've seen is our locals utilising the Domain as a recreational reserve. And in fact, over camping over Christmas and New Year, we had a large volume of people, 30% increase, which was really pleasing. So I guess locals are just making use of their local reserve, and of course using the hot weather as a great opportunity to pop out and and make the most of that. Good news is that we are going to be re-establishing a number of our events very shortly. So later on this month we have the junior rowing regatta. Unfortunately, no spectators, but certainly the athletes are going to be able to come through and be actually able to row, which is really good. We've still got the jet ski nationals, and we've got the Wakarama qualifying event a little bit later as well. So the other good news is that we still have a number of weddings planned for April. Unfortunately, our conferencing is a little bit quiet, but hopefully once we get to a different alert level or different lights in the traffic light system, largely our conferences are over 100 people, so we really need that to change before we can get back to doing the work that we would normally do. So that just gives you a bit of an idea of where we're at and kind of we're going forward, so happy to answer any questions. I'd like to offer better news, that I know the financials are looking very grim, but it is just the reality of the events in hospitality sector at the moment.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
think I'm blurry.
Yeah, well, you and sorry, your teammate whose name, yeah, if you get, well, don't worry about it, we'll manage. Okay. Yeah, look, your report was interesting and not unexpected, of course, my comment is, considering the circumstance, I think you've done a really good job. So to have as much as you have had happen there, and really looking forward to hopefully some more normality for at least next summer. I think your Great Kiwi Summer Expo sounds like a fantastic idea, and that I'm sure that will really go.
Yeah, we were really excited to bring that in for 2022. It's a concept that we've been working on for a really long time. We've already made the call now not to run 2023, so the earliest we'll be able to run that event will be 2024.
Right. Yep. That's still okay. Question, Bruce.
Thank you, Andrew. Liz, You say you've got suggested changes to the site, and that's enforcing the no dog policy or zone, but you're having problems doing that. No one's listening. How can you enforce it to get that point through? Because it's not, you obviously can't make it work at the moment. Signs aren't going to do it. They will with it.
It's a really, really tricky one. So just yesterday I chased, 3 people on site with 3 dogs off lead, and they were big dogs too. The message is not getting coming clear. It's just unfortunately, really, really hard to manage. And given we've got 19 hectares here, even more difficult. Can't be eyes and ears everywhere. But look, we work with dog enforcement, animal control, and when we see something and if people aren't being, compliant and they refuse to be compliant, we do bring animal control in quite quickly, and they're brilliant. But the reality is we still got a lot of dogs coming on site on a daily basis. Signage doesn't really seem to work.
No.
No, it's not easy, all right. Ken, you've got your hand up, and then Marcus. You're muted, Ken.
I was just saying, I don't believe I had my hand up. So yeah. So
no, you don't. Sorry,
happy to go straight to Marcus.
That was my cursor sitting in the middle of your screen, Marcus.
Okay.
I was just saying, there's the Great Kiwi Summer Expo. They've got saying it's in 2023, not 24, on the promo stuff.
Oh, did I get that wrong?
No, so we're aiming for 2023. Sorry, not 2022. We won't be running. Yeah, we're here.
Right.
Sorry, wrong. Yeah.
So we're hoping to run October this year, but we've pushed it out another year just because of our exhibitors and things being able to get stock. And still that uncertainty. We thought would better launch year will be 2023.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that clarification. Do I have any other questions for Liz? No. So that
Andrew, just wanted to say a bit like you, I think you've done wonderfully well, Liz, and there's a whole lot of things closing down and you're still there and you're looking vibrant and you've got ideas and and it's always a place to go to. And I think that 30% rise in people coming out to stay was probably locals coming from, say Hamilton or something, because they just didn't want to go, too far further than home. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, we had just even locals from Karapeto, our farming families just popping over to stay for a week as well. It was a really good opportunity to sort of stay and play in your own backyard, I guess. But look, just the other thing, just in finishing, and that is, look, all event venues, hospitality, accommodation providers, and Waipa are struggling away. There's no doubt about that. I hear from a number of them. There's no quick fix to this, unfortunately. Whilst we're just having, athlete-only events and no spectators, that does not drive overnight accommodation. And we really need to see, the aspect. The only way our sector really enjoys the economic benefit is when people stay overnight, and we need that to be returned. So it's a pretty tough time out there.
Yeah, it definitely is. I can tell you even retail is really slowed up, and I don't think anything much is going to change until this Omicron wave goes through, however long that's going to take. And from one point of view, we want it over very quickly, and from another, we want to stretch it out so our hospitals and health systems not overwhelmed. So it's just a matter of being as patient as we can and hanging on, I guess. But yeah, thanks for that. And I agree with you totally, Graham. I think Liz and your team, you're doing a great job. So thanks for that. I have a recommendation on page 13. Do I have a mover? That was Roger and Mike. Thanks, all in favour. Oh, sorry, Philip, I missed a question up there before we go through with that. Phil.
Yep, it's not really a question, but thanks, Liz and Phoebe, for your report. Just you're talking about visitors. The eyesight's pretty quiet with people booking accommodation. but they are buying our retail stuff in the shop, so that's great for gifts. So thanks for your report, Liz and Phoebe.
Cool. So that was moved. Roger, seconded Mike. All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary, no. That's carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 7, quarterly property services report, and I see John is front and centre. So John.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, this is a quarterly report till the 31st of December 2021. Bruce pulled most of this together, but he finished on Thursday last week, so I think I might know a fair bit about it. So financials are pretty straightforward. Just goes through some of the others. Cambridge Museum seismic upgrade. So we need to re-roof the building and do some seismic upgrades with that building. Pin the parapet back to the building, and there's a few issues with the chimneys and that. So that work's underway. The drawings have been submitted for a resource consent, and the first draft, we've got drawings for the building consent. So that's procurement process. We're looking at revising those procurement documents. Cambridge Water Tower, we got feedback from Heritage New Zealand that we can remove the tank potentially and put up a piece of steel that purports to represent the tank. So we're working on that with Heritage New Zealand at the moment. Growth sales are ongoing. Got some reports later in publicly excluded. Hicks Road, Mangatiatri, finally got the walkway open on the 31st of December. Didn't make Christmas, but we made New Year, so finally got there. Mangatiatri Road cycleway easement, that's been sorted. So with the acquisition of 859 Mangatiatri Road, we've got access all the way now through to Waipuki. The Kiki War Memorial Hall clock, the safe access systems have now been completed. The clock working's been removed and the hands have been removed. The face has been refurbished and the clock mechanism should be put back up next week, and hopefully time will start again in Kiki.
It's looking fantastic as well. It's a massive improvement already over what it was looking like.
That's good. Parongia Cycleway, I'll give you an update later on in the day on that.
John, Mr. Chairman, can I just ask John a question about the extension of the cycleway? We've bought that property and we're in charge of the land going to Waipuki. When you're talking about coming back, you're talking about coming past the current houses between our new property and the end of the current cycleway?
That's correct. There's a reserve for part of that
Yes.
we can get in, and then 845 Mangatiatri Road, which is just past the starting line on the rowing course. We have agreement in place for that stretch through there, and then that adjoins 859 Mangatiatri.
Yeah. And John, any resistance to that, or they were happy to come on board with us?
Maureen came to us actually, approached us with regards to trying to secure. She had the property on the market, so she came to us first to talk to us about that. So we were successful in negotiating that.
Oh, fantastic! Great stuff. Good, thank you.
NZMCA, the Motorhome Campers Association, Caravan Association at Te Amutu. I've had an email from them in the last week or so. They were meeting on the weekend to approve their final design and plans. They're just about to lodge the resource consent for that site. We did have an on-site meeting, talked to the adjoining owners. We've reduced the site slightly, but I think they're still talking about 60 sites in there. So that's all progressing. Franklin Street in Parongia, that demolition's underway. We've got a carpenter in there at the moment with an archaeologist doing some work there. Asbestos is being removed this week and demolition scheduled to begin next week. Vale Court 10-unit pensioner housing expansion. We've fairly well got a documents in a state that is acceptable to everyone. We're just giving some final information to MHUD, Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, with regards to their model and rentals. Current rentals for 1-bedroom units in Cambridge, $380 a week. So if we go down the path, we will get a better return on the properties we build, and potentially tenants will get income related rent subsidies. But so we're working on that. I'd hope to have a report to council either probably April council meeting, hopefully, to put that proposal to you. Blundell Street properties, that we're just tidying up a boundary subdivision there, but that's pretty much it, I think. Plenty on the go.
Yes, plenty on the go. Thanks, John. Do I have Claire and then Mike?
Yeah, thanks, John. I've got a question about the Cambridge Town Hall Trust. Like, it'd be really good to have an update from them on how they're going. So I'm not sure if Liz is working on that, since she's asking about that earlier, but you know, we haven't really heard anything from them since they were set up or anything.
Ken's got his hand up.
Yeah, through the chair.
I think Ken's got a response to Claire's question.
Yes.
There.
Yeah, so look, through the chair, look, the Town Hall Trust have been very actively working, and in fact I know that they had quite a significant strategic planning session over the weekend just gone. So so Kirsty and the rest of the trustees are certainly fully engaged. We have a draft lease and services agreement with the trust as well. So we drafted that up from the council side. That went to the trust, I believe, early to mid December, and they've engaged some legal advice around that. So so look, we are in close contact with Kirsty Johnson, the chair, and actually as part of those conversations, we have talked as well about the trust coming and presenting at a finance and corporate committee meeting in the near future. But look, we were just hoping to get a bit further in terms of agreeing that draft lease and services agreement, and of course the strategic planning session that they have just had. But look, I would be hopeful that that either March or April we will be in a much better position for the trust to come along to one of these meetings and engage with you in regard to what they're up to.
Great, thanks, Ken. You got a comment on that, Liz?
Yes, I was just going to say, just to answer Claire's question, the strategic planning, I was lucky to be part of that. In my capacity as domain manager out here at Lake Karapiro. But the planning session was extremely well attended by a number of different user groups, and that, I think, for me was really heartening to see. So their ability to get out into the community, and really, you know, what we were doing was just talking about, well, what does the community want for the town hall? How does it want to use the town hall going forward? So I was really heartened by the progress that I was able to see, and very excited for them. Really bright future, and hopefully a very bright future for the hall as well.
Thanks for that. Okay, Mike.
Yeah, thank you, through the chair. Hey, John, just a question around the seismic work that needs to be done on the Cambridge Museum, and just, I guess, originally we probably didn't know the scope of it. Just the funding for that, how's it fitting in with what we'd planned, considering the roof, etc. now has to be done?
I haven't got details on the budget. As I say, I haven't been involved with it lately, but I can certainly chase that up, Mike, and find out what the scope, what the estimate of the scope of works is, and where we're at budget-wise. The works have to be done within 12 and a half years of when we gave notice to council of the IEP. But the roof needs replacement, and it makes sense to do the pinning back of the parapet to the building at that time when the roof's off, and the same with the chimneys as well. So they're the two bits of work we're really looking at.
Thanks for that.
Okay, there's no further questions. I guess my only comment, John, is you've got a heap of work on and 2 staff members down. Yeah, and there's nothing much we can do to help, I suppose, but hopefully you'll be able to fill those positions soon.
Yeah, we're struggling at the moment with regards to filling positions, but yeah.
Ken, you've got a comment.
25 hours in a day, aren't there, Andrew?
Yeah. So just through the chair, look, we have actually engaged a short-term resource to assist the property team. Admittedly, more at the management level. It's actually Chris Ryan, who is just retiring as the chief executive of Waitomo District Council. So long time local government chief executive, obviously doesn't have specific property expertise, but look, we have taken Chris on just on a 2-day a week short-term contract, just to lend a bit of assistance for the team, using his broad-based generalist local government management knowledge. But look, the market is really tight at the moment. We have basically advertised for the full-time manager position, but look, that to date that hasn't yielded any suitable candidates, and it looks very much like our latest round for the facilities management property advisor position has looks like that has also failed. So look, it is a very tough market to recruit in at the moment. Actually, Andrew, I'll just say as well, I think Susan had a question. If you want to go to Susan.
Yes. Yep. All good.
Yeah, like you kind of addressed what my questions were around that staffing issue, and what confidence were you able to give us in terms of filling those with suitably qualified and competent people? That's all. Obviously, they're pretty significant roles in our organisation. Obviously, massive loss to lose Bruce, but those facilities are our interchange with the community, right? So they need to, they're positions that we really need to have filled and filled really well. So watch the space. I hope you get some good applicants.
I totally agree, Susan.
The market is tight. Waikato got a couple of similar roles at the moment. Rotorua looking for a property manager. Everyone's struggling.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure you're doing what you can. So, but as Susan says, I guess we will be watching the space with our fingers crossed. Okay. So I have a recommendation on page 28 to accept John's report. Could I have a mover, please?
Happy to move.
Bruce and Graham, thanks. All in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Contrary, no. That is carried. And we will move to item 8, financial report. And I see Nada there. There you are. Hi, Nada. Welcome.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just take the report as read and just highlight some of the points as well. So currently the income is at 49% of the forecast, and the operating expenditure is at 51%. We've got 59%.
Sorry, Nada, I'm looking at something that says something slightly different, but.
What are you looking at? Whereabouts are you?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yep,
That's
all good. Take it back. So,
29,
sorry, carry on.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so the subsidies and grants are at 59% of the forecast, and we have received about 3.4 million from the government for the Three Waters reform. With the capital, So you could see there that we've had all those annual plan changes go in. So I think there was quite a big reduction, about 47 million. That's come out of the capital, with mainly the roading, stormwater and wastewater. And on page 6 on the key risk indicator report, just wanted to point out there that the additional lots measured there, that 101. So that's a bit understated at the moment. So we're going to do some more work around that to get that cleared up and more accurate going forward. So they're just going to do some data cleansing on that. So in future reports, hopefully that looks like it's tracking better.
Okay.
And
sorry, carry on.
Okay. And then with the rates, we have a balance outstanding of 13.3 million, and that is after billing of the third instalment, which is due on the 21st of Feb. And the water rates, we have had 8.1 million invoiced for the year, and we have an amount outstanding of 1.3 million. Was there any questions?
Question clear.
Yeah, thanks, Nada. The question I had is about the renewals and how they've really, they're in red. You're not going to achieve them, which is like that's Gary's KPI, to achieve 100% renewals. So what's the problem with that? And is there a plan to try and catch up or anything?
I will look into that, but I'm picking that it might just be a timing, but I can have a look into that and I will get back to you just to see how it's tracking. Yeah. And if it looks like, yeah,
thanks.
Yes, we will probably get a much better idea of that with next month's forecast, but Ken, you've got a...
Yeah. So look, just to say in that space. So actually, when you look at that key risk indicator report on page 43 of the agenda, I mean, you can see that is actually red versus the growth and the level of service that are green. But look, traditionally we do pretty well in that renewals space. So look, I'm sure that by the end of the year we will be a lot more advanced in that area. I suppose at the moment that is definitely showing as a red. But the team is always quite focused on delivering those renewals, and generally we do well in that space. So so we do need to look at it as the chairman has just observed. We are just about to do some budget reforecasting as we always do in February. So look, we'll have a much better idea the next time we present to you in March.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks.
Okay. Any further questions on the financials? No. That being the case, there's a recommendation to receipt. I've just got a little question. All of the requests for funding, which are quite substantial, are basically timing issues to do with the subdivision. So, I mean, they will end up being neutral to our finances in the long term. I thought I'd just make that comment. But the recommendations A and B, which includes those funding requests, could I have a mover, please?
Yes, I'll move,
Roger,
Chairman.
and thanks, Philip, for second. All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary, no. That is carried. Thank you. So now we need a resolution to exclude the public. Do I have a mover? Marcus, thank you. Thanks, Bruce. All in favour?
Aye.
Contrary, no.